Awesome. So there's graphing rationals. We're back with graphing rationals. That was graphing radicals. So graphing rationals is next. Find the vertical asymptote or oblique asymptote, then graph it. So okay. Vertical asymptote is just going to be that guy, right? You just have to set it equal to 0. And so then we minus 2 to both sides. So you get x equals, whoa, why did it do that? So you get x equals negative 2. So that is our vertical asymptote. Here. An oblique. Whoa! So oblique can involve synthetic division or long division. Do you remember how to do that? Change it, signs. So how does x become a 4x squared? Well, it needs an x to become squared. X times x is x squared. And it needs a 4. X times x, or 4x. A placeholder, 0x plus 1. Need a place. Don't forget your placeholder. You have to do 2 times 4x. So 2 times 4x is 8x. And then we change it, signs. We're going to change the signs. It goes away. Times it by negative 8. So x times our asymptote is going to be a linear equation, y equals 4x minus 8. So plus 17. That'll be our graph. Let's see if all this even works. This would be cool. So we're going to show you this. We're going to go to y 4x so 4 see x plus 2. So we're going to graph so if we want to see that, let's see here. So we have a slanted there. And so let's plug in the equation to see if our slanted asymptote fixes it or not. Goes right along it. Let's see. So 4x minus 8. I think that'll be close, but I think we need to add the remainder in. Let's see. Pretty close. If you want to be more exact, then we got to go ahead and do the plus now. So plus the 17 divided by x plus 2. Sick. So this is going to be our oblique asymptote. Or not. What happened? 4x minus 8 plus 17 divided by x plus 2. So close enough. Not sure what we did wrong. What's going on there? I think you added it. Don't you just add that in the remainder? Probably, maybe. The calculator might be thinking it as something else. So I'm not sure there what it's doing. But we do have it supposed to be graphed. Oh well. So if we go ahead maybe and just take off that remainder, which is 17, then that'll kind of give you an idea at least. Because I don't think you're going to test you too hardcore on it. So you can kind of see there's that asymptote that's going along, and that's called a slanted asymptote. So let's graph this sucker at 0. A half is our x-intercept. Setting the top equal to 0 gives us a half. Awesome. So it's going to come along here, and then basically go there. And then it's going to go along our asymptote there. So the next kind of maybe dot we'll use is maybe like over 2 up 4.6. Over 2 up 4.6. And so then you just have that slanted asymptote. And that's crazy. There's our graph. That's something we didn't really teach too much. So that's a good new thing to show you, our slanted asymptote there. Okay, find the horizontal and vertical. Ooh, they have lots of things in common we can factor out, right? Like an x. So we can pull out an x here. We're left with x squared because there's 3 of them. Take away 1. Leaves us x squared with a 2. And then on top, we can pull out a 2 and an x. So that'll leave us with a 2x plus 1, which doesn't cancel out. So no holes. Oh, there is a hole. Where? I don't see a hole. Where's your hole? Oh. So I guess x's that cancels out there. So these x's are going to cancel out. And so we are going to have actually a hole. So we're going to have a hole at x equals 0. Don't forget that. Okay, so then to find the vertical asymptote, imaginary, silly, silly, silly. So to find the horizontal, top is less than bottom. Bobo, big on bottom equals 0. Remember that? Big on bottom equals 0. And because 2 is less than 3, so just y equals 0 for the horizontal. So we are going to have a horizontal asymptote there. But, I'm feeling like the vertical, you set the bottom equal to 0. And that's going to give us an imaginary number. Who came up with this? So plus 2 equals 0. So we're going to go ahead and minus 2 to both sides. Yeah, so we're going to get an x squared equals negative 2 for the vertical. We're going to square root both sides. So we're going to get an x equals I plus or minus I radical 2. That's lame. Let's just graph this on the calculator because I don't feel like it'll be near this hard at all. Nope, it won't. On the test there. Giving us some hard ones to study. Wow. Okay, that's okay. So 4x squared plus 2x now is what we're doing. So plus 2, second insert an x, close parenthesis, divided by, oh no. Oh good, I used parentheses. Okay, divided by, now we're going to do x cubed, right arrow, plus 2x, close parenthesis. So now we can take a look at our graph there. Let's go and get rid of our line. So we're going to clear that line. Yeah, this is definitely not going to be on the test. This is ridiculous. So yeah, so there is no vertical asymptote because they're imaginary. So we're going to put none. And then our graph basically looks like this. So this graph, let's take a look there. There we go. So it's going to go ahead at, let's see what the y-intercept is. So to again, to find the y-intercept, you set all the x's equal to 0. So it looks like it should be, careful now, so 0 here, those x's are gone. Yeah, it should be at 1/2. So our y-intercept. Okay, so let's double check. Oh, but there's a hole there, Newell. There's a hole at x equals 0. That's right. So even though there's a y-intercept there, it's actually a hole. This is a fun, tricky one. Okay, so now it's going to go up and down, reaches about 2. And then down below, same thing. So basically the graph is going to come up and then go along the asymptote. And come down and go along the asymptote. So definitely one that we haven't looked at. Don't know why it's on the review, but that's okay. Good to look at these crazy ones. Glad you're watching, Elise. Glad you're watching. Here's some ones we've seen before. Hello, flippin' Louie, right? Okay, there we go. So we still got time before we do another video. Okay, horizontal. This is what I'm talking about. So we have x squared plus 3. And divided by, we have x minus 2, x plus 2. Good, good. Because that's what x squared minus 4 factors into. So to find the vertical, remember, you set the bottom equal to 0. So we are going to have an x equals a positive 2. Remember, opposite sign, positive 2. And then, why are they doing this? The top is going to be an x-intercept. And so when you do your x-intercept, set it equal to 0, you get another freaking imaginary. Why are they doing this to me? Sorry. I'm okay. So plus or minus I radical 3. Okay, so that's going to be not going to be crossing at the x-intercept. But let's see if we at least have a horizontal. We do have a horizontal. The powers are the same, so 1 over 1. So we do have a horizontal at 1 over 1, which is nice. We have a vertical at negative 2 and positive 2. Good. And then we have a horizontal at y equals 1. Cool. So here's our graph. And so for some reason we're not going to be touching that horizontal because I think I see why. So when we plug a 0 in there, let's see what our y-intercept is, and that'll explain why we don't have an x-intercept. So when we plug our y-intercept in, that's set the x equal to 0. And when we do that, we get 3 over negative 2 times 2 is 4, so negative 3/4. Cool. So then at negative 3/4, which is down here, double check. Yep, negative 3/4. Do you see it right there? So then it's down here, about there. Excellent. So that's where our graph should be going. Awesome. We don't have an x-intercept. Aha. So it's going to come up here, should come down here like this. And then diagonal from that will be this one going up and this one coming down. You can do test points, but highly recommend also that you use the graphing calculator. Nice. So that is number 13 on our video there. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and do y equals. Let's just try it out again. So we're going to go ahead and just plug it in to make sure we're doing this right. Always good to use the graphing calculator and check yourself before you wreck yourself. So x squared, oh, parentheses, don't forget the parentheses. So x, because you'll get a wrong answer if you don't use parentheses, promise. Okay, so, because it'll be like x squared plus 3 divided by x squared, and then space, space, minus 4. Work. But if you use parentheses, you'll be okay. So we have x squared, right arrow, minus 4, close parentheses, and then we'll go ahead and hit graph, and there she blows. And nothing cancels out on top and bottom, so we shouldn't have a hole. Good. There's negative 3/4. BEA Beautiful. Thanks for watching. One more. Keep it rolling, Nubo. Keep it rolling.